From the esteemed Yellow Dog Studios in the heart of Wimberley, Texas, you're listening to the Bad Truth Podcast with your hosts, Michael and Adam.
Yeah, the bell's live now.
That's
It's
solid.
a big
Analog
production
now.
going on now.
Mm-hmm. This is like Grammy production right here. Nominated production. All right. So, bass up, treble down. Okay.
Brendon, it's been a year.
Has it been that long?
No.
Yes, it has, right? It's been a year since he's been on this podcast.
Like in TV podcast years or in real
Calendar year.
Yeah.
both, I think.
Really?
It was the beginning of last year that we had you.
Is this TMO 2.0?
2.0.
Man, and we're all still here?
We haven't been canceled yet.
Has anything changed since the last time? We're about to find out.
We changed headphone boxes on you just now.
Okay.
So
The Texas State of the Union,
the state of the union.
music-wise, organization. No?
Yeah.
Okay. Do y'all have stickers?
We have lots of stickers.
Ah, man, I need a sticker.
I need a sticker.
You got a hat?
We don't have hats.
Okay.
Coffee
We have
cups.
stickers, and we have some pins.
Adam cut his hair.
Yeah,
I cut all the hair off. I was like, how can I get more handsome?
New year, new him. Oh boy. Nate, now you have no excuse to wear the Bad Truth baseball cap now.
Oh, I know. We got to get more of those.
Where's yours?
I don't have one.
Oh, I don't want one because I don't wear hats.
I don't wear hats. Now I wear hats. Now I need a hat.
You wear a lot of hats, dude.
We have zero. We got to make some more.
I wear plenty of hats. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Have we wasted enough intro time?
I think we have.
Okay, let's go.
Let's start this thing.
Season 4.
Wow.
We're into season 4 now.
We're into season 4.
This is the second episode. No. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is the second episode.
Okay. So, Brendon, what has changed since last time?
That's a good question. So it's been a year, and in that time, we've been out and about in the state, moving forward programs that we think are going to do a lot of good for people we represent. We're asking communities to get on board, and so, since the last time we met, we'd certified Fort Worth as music-friendly then. That was September 23rd of 17, and we've certified 6 more since then. So we're moving quickly on that.
So, what's all the six cities? How's that work?
Conroe, Denton, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Austin,
Conroe, Denton,
Fort Worth,
Fort Worth. That's 3.
San Antonio,
San
Austin,
Antonio and Austin.
Lindale.
What?
Lindale?
Glendale.
Lindale.
Lindale.
Yes.
Okay. Where's that?
That's out in East Texas, about 2 hours east of Dallas.
Is that where my favorite video is?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's not talk.
Which,
Have you been there, Adam?
which one's in Lindale?
It's the one. It's a restaurant.
And then
Oh, yeah, maybe it is, the Love and War.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
moved over from North Texas, so Ty Phelps moved that brand over.
Okay, it's not my favorite one, but let's just keep going. Okay,
It's a good spot.
So
It is a good spot.
what's happened? So have we fixed all this Austin musician parking yet? We talked about from last time.
That's not my job.
That is not going to change.
Who do we talk to for that?
City of Austin.
Oh no.
I enjoyed. Hey, speaking of, I played last week at the State Theater, which was awesome.
Yeah,
with,
cool place.
Terry Hendricks and Lloyd Maines, and we had, of course, the parking passes, so we could park and load in close. And of course, some construction truck just parked and took one of the spots, and so it was the classic. Oh, they'll be moving here in a little bit. And then when I loaded out, they were still in one of our spots, and yeah,
The system's not perfect.
that's they're working at it.
Yeah.
They're
right.
working on it.
Speaking of parking, can anyone identify or name the 6 scooter companies? We have 6 now.
Really, I know there's Bird.
Okay, okay.
Lime,
That's 2.
Uber.
Those are the red ones. Okay, that's 3.
Because I think I have 2 of their apps. So I've got Bird and what's
So we
the other
got
one?
Bird, Lime, and Uber. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's 3. There's 3 more.
What are the other 3?
There's the Lyft ones.
Yeah, I assume the ride-sharing guys are all doing it. So
Yeah, the Lyft ones. It's like the pink paint swatch on it.
yeah.
Ah, okay.
Lyft, and so now there's 2 more. Anyone?
What are they?
There's a gray one with like an orange sticker on it with the word in white. I don't know what the word says.
Okay.
And then
You don't have this answer. You
yeah,
just
no.
ask-
Well, I said, can you name or describe?
Yeah.
I see it. Sorry.
Sweet.
I'm describing those.
Describing.
Okay,
What's the
so
other one?
they've evolved now. For all you guys that don't believe in evolution, the scooters certainly have.
themselves.
Yeah.
They have a red one that has a seat and a black basket behind it.
No way.
It looks like a Vespa that they've gutted the engine out of it.
Oh, that's
We're getting
smart.
really close to needing a driver's license to
Okay.
drive these things.
Yeah.
So before, you could just, walking was just, I'm not walking anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, how can I
Now
not
I'm not
walk
even
and still
standing
get
up.
somewhere?
Yeah.
Which was the scooter. And now it's like, well, we're still have to stand up to get to where we're going. Can I still sit?
Have you seen Wall-E when like all the
Oh, yeah.
all the people end up on the spaceship, but they can't move? They've like
they
atrophied.
can't move. They're drinking the 64-ounce
Yeah.
big gulps and stuff like that. That's where we're headed.
We're there.
We're definitely there.
I can't hear Brendon as well. What channel?
He's in 5.
No, he's not. Are you in 5?
I'm in 5.
Oh, there you are. Where are you at?
I'm in 1.
Oh, my God.
I'm number 1, as always.
615.
I had you get. That's most contemporary Christian songs. That'd be 6415.
6415.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's,
Okay. All right. So enough of the scooters. Although I did
Scooter
see,
talk.
I did see a big boy. He rented 2 of them. He had 1 foot on each, holding the opposite
That dude's
handlebars. He was going up 8th in Congress. You know, how it goes up the hill there.
yeah.
I really want to get. I couldn't get a picture. I thought it was genius.
I don't see it as often in Austin because maybe the concentration isn't quite what it is in Nashville, but in Nashville on Lower Broadway,
Yeah.
when people peel out of Lower Broadway, headed back to wherever they're going, it is one of the most dangerous looking things I've ever seen.
They have the scooter virus.
Yeah, but it's day drunk people leaving Orchid Lounge or Legends or wherever else, and man, they are bachelorette party drunk at 3 PM, and they're on a scooter.
What are we doing with this scooter virus?
I don't know, but that whole
It's not going to end well, man.
It's in neighborhoods now.
Yeah.
yeah, the whole other thing that I've noticed now that I'm in Nashville a bunch is just those drinking, like where people pedal everybody
the
on
pedal
board
cruisers.
pedals and they just drink and drink and drink at 4 PM, and I'm just like, wow.
We've gone too far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait till South by coming up here in March. How busy are you going to be then?
11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let us know what scooters you use to get from venue to venue.
That's
Because you
the
can't
only
take
time
a
I
ride.
can. No, it's just almost impossible to get around.
You're not getting a lift because
But I don't know if
that
you'll-
lift will take 30 minutes to go 1 block.
You have to assume that during that time, all those scooter sharing companies, I'm quoting air quotes, but I'm assuming they're going to just deluge the city with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I wish? They would stop. I know it's kind of funny to throw them into the river, but those things have batteries in them. And you know what happens to that battery in the water when it gets wet?
They blow up.
You're poisoning the water.
Yeah.
So whatever was mutated that was living in there is now like radioactive. That's just what I'm thinking.
Michael, don't drink that water.
No.
Okay,
No. You
don't.
shouldn't drink any of the
Just a public
United
service
States.
announcement.
Any United States water, right?
Water, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, remember the girl that used to be at Stubbs? They made a monument to her. They had her in the inside. That naked
Oh, yeah,
artwork thing
The one
of
in
her.
the inside stage.
Yeah, they got rid of her. They got rid of that thing.
They did.
Okay, so where were we? All right,
did?
these cities. So what does it take to get what does it mean when you're certified?
Well, it means that as a city, you're taking an intentional approach to supporting your local music industry. So, we don't have the resources, and we don't want to be in the business of cruising around the state handing out certificates, right? So we've set a fairly high bar for partnership in this program. That's why there are only 7 right now. A lot of people have called with interest to be part of the program. But once they hear what it's about, they have to take a step back, take stock, and see if that's actually something they can pull off. So
Is that a budget thing for this?
Well,
cities?
yeah, it's a budget resource type thing. So we don't have any money from the music office, but 99% of the time, these cities hear this program and they understand it on its face. But they've got to create a city office within city government and empower an officer or a liaison to interface with the music industry community. And that person is tasked to create strategies that are going to be uniquely helpful to the people in their local industry economy, and that's going to be different across the board. They've got to create an advisory council or a commission that's going to be out there creating networking opportunities and engagement opportunities to listen to the industry community. They've got to create economic impact studies. They've got to sign an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with our office saying that from time to time they're going to sample and poll their industry community and provide that data to us to make our database more accurate. So, I mean, there are a lot of steps to becoming certified. So, I'm really proud of the cities that have done it because it has taken a tremendous amount of effort to get there. But it's a high bar. We want really good partners that can be engaged. And by the time they go through that process and they've asked the city to do all those things, they can't really walk it back. It's something they're committed to.
Well, that's great news. No, Adam?
Yeah.
Did you understand any of what he just said?
Yes, of course, because I've been a part of a couple things that he's been speaking at and doing things, and I've spoke at some things. That
I'm not on Facebook. Maybe I didn't get the invite.
Wah, wah.
What I got out of that was that Brendon is creating mini-me versions of him throughout the state.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what we're trying to do. And that's a really...
Without having to clone.
I broke it down for Streets Talk.
Yeah, that's a simplified way of saying it. Essentially what we want is for these cities to do what we've tried to do on a very macro level in a way that's very unique to their industry community, right? So Tyler looks different than Fort Worth, right? Looks different than El Paso, looks different than Corpus and the Rio Grande Valley. And, they're all unique places. So they're all going to have different programs. And my program is not a one-size-fits-all for everybody. So we have to ask them for help.
If you have musicians that aren't making it in one of the cities, can we transfer them to one of the other 7 cities? They might be able to have more success there.
That's a good idea. I'll put that out there. Like, this town's not big enough for you. We're moving you to Dallas.
Yeah,
we're trading you.
You have to work your way up to Austin.
That's right.
Who was the first?
Fort Worth, actually.
Fort Worth? Mm-hmm. So they're like way on board with the music scene.
I would say they were highly engaged and remain that
So
way.
what would be the advantages of a musician living in Fort Worth right now as opposed to living in Dallas?
Well, Dallas doesn't have a program right now.
Exactly.
So I would say that they're not getting the sort of intentional support that Fort Worth is giving their industry community today, and I can say that for a fact.
Does that mean more music-friendly venues, more places to play?
Well, it means that their venues are better understood by the city, and those needs of the venues are better understood by the city, and the needs of the industry stakeholders across the board are better understood. And Fort Worth took a listen to those people, and after several town halls, they came up with a series of programs they're going to roll out. One is, if you qualify and you're a part of their nonprofit that is their advisory board called HEAR, H-E-A-R, Fort Worth, thank you, you can qualify for a gas card.
Okay.
To get you on the road a little bit easier. That's a big deal, right?
Well, yeah.
That's a very practical thing that Fort Worth's helping. But they're not paying for their record. They're not paying for, their business. They're just helping, grow the margins just slightly. And you can qualify to become a featured musician, and you're everywhere on Fort Worth branding for a month.
Nice.
And that's a big deal. And they've created more meaningful partnerships with things like South by. So you're actually doing real showcase stuff at South by, and you're doing export stuff over in Europe, which is really cool. It's just a much more evolved way of understanding and supporting, folks who are, very important to the culture there.
The gas thing is great. No, Adam?
Yeah. And
but it's just practical, right? It's a common sense aid. But,
what do you got there, Adam?
Oh, I was just going to say, I feel like Fort Worth over the past couple years has always been ahead of the curve of how they treat their musicians and help. Like we've talked about this before. I've just seen Fort Worth having a showcase of Fort Worth bands at South by, like the city of Fort Worth, and they've done that for a few years now. And I'm just like, I
just think they get it, and I'm really anxious for them to tell their story. They are actually hosting our first gathering of all of the certified communities and people who are interested in the program, cities who are working through the program, in April 26th in Fort Worth. And it's Fort Worth who stepped up and said, April 26th.
Hey,
Fort
Mike,
Worth.
did you? Let me check.
Missed.
I'm going to check my email real quick to make sure I got that invite.
Man, I don't want to. I don't want to do Facebook anymore.
It's out there, but
that's awesome.
They stepped up and volunteered to host that thing.
Yeah,
and they're, like I said, they're just highly engaged, and I want them to tell their story.
Along with the gas thing, what about like special car loans, interest rates, so bands can get a van at a better rate?
Oh, I know. What a great idea.
Because mobility and then the fuel for that's huge for a musician. That's a lot of their cost.
Well, I'll say this: if you lived in one of those cities that was actively listening to you, you could put that idea forward in a forum that would be heard.
I bet Fort Worth has musician parking.
I can't speak to that.
Do they have? So I bet they have merch too. They got a flat cap. Fort Worth here cap. Okay,
they probably do. Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Mike's proud of his flat cap, his new flat cap right now.
Yeah, I'm wearing this. This is retro baseball cap from the 20s and 30s. The Detroit Stars. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I thought it was like North Korea or something.
No, no, they had winning season. I think they had a winning season all but 2. Yeah,
that'll come in handy.
I couldn't. I would not have been. I would not have been in that league. Okay.
way too young. Yeah.
All right. So where are we at now? So with these, so we got the 7 cities, and we have like the different advantages for them. Does that also include backline in some of these venues? Was that something that these venues with having them try to get it?
I don't know. Again, that would be a program that'd be unique to a community. If they decided that was really important, they decided that's the resource they were going to come up with, then maybe.
Yeah, that, you know what I mean, Adam?
You know what we don't do? I'll tell you this. What we don't do is go into a city when we host these workshops, which is a mandatory part of the certification process, where I talk through the program, is we don't tell them how to do it. You know, we say, here's what we think are the building blocks of a program that will grow uniquely where you plan it, but we don't tell them how to do it or what it's going to look like.
Is it hard to get some of the local musicians there to get involved, like to come to these meetings? Or is it more just the city?
I think so, because I don't think it's
That's
because
more as
they're
an advisory board.
I just don't think it's because they're apathetic. I think that maybe they've heard it before, or maybe they've been used by a city to sell the city without any real ROI for them.
What's that mean, ROI?
I'm sorry, return on investment for them.
Yeah.
So, so maybe they've heard it before. I've heard this in some cases. But a lot of times they do show up because, having a city where you live and choose to create and stay, having a city call you and say, hey, we want to hear from you about how we support you. That's a big deal. That's a big thing to folks, who are gutting it out. And so more often than not, they do show up. And they have good questions.
Apparently, Adam has shown up.
Oh, I noticed your phone is buzzing.
Is it my phone?
Yeah, 'cause
my
it's
phone's
only on your mic.
It's not doing anything. Oh, my little sister said, ha, 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 thanks.
There, see?
It's
There you
Valentine's Day.
go. It's Valentine's Day.
It's her birthday.
Oh,
And I sent her 24 red balloon emojis.
wonderful.
I know.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best I can do. I can't really get into it. I have to take it up with people in Pittsburgh. I have mini-me's in Pittsburgh.
I know. I met him.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Heinz Field, dude.
Adam, what's the thing you would like to see cities do for the industry? It's not just musicians. It's also, I would assume, it's for like recording studios.
Well, you have to support the whole ecosystem.
Right, yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
none of these things exist without the other. So, yeah, 100%.
I mean, what I would love to see is bringing communication of like in a certain city, communication of venues and stuff together. Of more of there's so much of a in it for themselves sort of thing, and in it to make, and that's not how a community is going to thrive. And so like everything from booking and city festivals and stuff like that. Like I feel like, coming from the standpoint of like mine dealing with the moon pies and stuff like that, like when we get offers,
Fine.
when we get offers coming in, it's like I'll start looking at and I'm like, oh, well, that's the same time as this other festival's going on and all this sort of stuff. And not just venues, but like that whole thing. Or there's and Austin's full of it, there's a 5K being run that same day that somebody else is trying to do that. And they don't ever think about that. They automatically think, I just got a message from a artist named AJ, and he just showed me how somebody was starting a festival in Houston, and he was just like, "Oh, thank you for thinking of me. Like, what's the pay? What am I getting? Blah blah." And they're like, "Well, all the artists are going to play it for free, but they can get 100% of their merch, and you'll get some radio advertisement." And it's just like, no, that's not how you do this.
You got it wrong.
That is not how you support the arts, is have a bunch of bands play for free all day long. It's like I want that communication to start happening in these cities.
Well, I think once you start a conversation about what the music industry actually is, and you start having that conversation where you're not in an echo chamber talking to people who already sort of understand it in their own way. You start sharing real data about it, and you start sharing real people's stories with people who are decision makers in city government, for example. It becomes apparent pretty quick that there's a misunderstanding due to lack of communication that happens more often than not between those two parties.
Yep.
And so this program, really seeks to bridge that and begin to start building an understanding between the two. And like, Michael asked earlier, this is not just musicians we're talking about. This is venue owners and agents and all the stakeholders that are, living and working in an ecosystem that need to be heard.
Radio station.
Yeah, they all qualify as members and stakeholders in the local music industry. I mean,
so they're
all
invited
have
too.
needs.
The radio stations
100%.
go to these meetings.
100%.
You get a lot of venue owners go to these things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and they all come for different reasons, but they all feed and sustain each other. Mm-hmm. So whether or not they've given it some active thought, they're sitting for the very first time in a lot of cases next to people with whom they do a lot of business but don't know or understand. And those people are all sitting next to people who've never given it a second thought except to drive by it and yell for them to turn down, or send an ordinance enforcer over, or go to enjoy music. I mean, they're very, they're involved in it in ways that are completely different.
That sounds like Red River.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Red
Austin.
River has made real strides by coming together and talking for the very first time. And they've put together a cultural district, which has been designated by the city, and they've got someone to speak for all of them. And Cody, right now, who used to work at Mohawk. Cody Cowan?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is taken over the role as, director of the Red River Entertainment District. And they're supported by the Music Venue Alliance, which is a new thing. I mean, I think that there's some change that's happening that's pretty new. Like these are not things that have traditionally gone on or been very successful in the past, but
yeah, that's the thing when the way Austin is in particular, where it's just booming. We're constantly under construction and traffic hell, and we can't have single. This is a weird conversation right now. We're getting rid of the single family homes and putting condos because we have to put a lot of people in small places. So they're putting all these condos up because they want to be downtown. They want to be where everything is at, but then they don't want to hear the music at night, which is the reason they moved down there. So now you're kind of dealing with the stuff Red River was dealing with when those condos first went up with Stubbs and some of the bars across the street.
And they'll always deal with it. Like they haven't solved a problem. What they've solved is, the form of communication that was being used. And the communication is what makes the problem easier to deal with. Like they'll never fix that, but they'll make the issue more manageable, right? They have people who talk to one another now. And it's not a screaming match across the street, which doesn't solve anything.
Yeah.
No.
I remember that they were thinking about moving the stage at Stubbs outside, putting it on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Fire it the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
It's been interesting. The Austin change that I've seen over the past, since I've been in the job and really have started paying active attention to it, has been really rapid and has been really impactful. So there are people on the private side in Austin who've decided to spend a lot of hard-earned money and time that they really don't have to create solutions to problems that everyone knows are out there, right? And I'm pointing at Gary Keller, who's put together all ATX and the Austin music movement, and overnight almost, and definitely in terms of program building, it's been overnight that he's created these things and has empowered these things through money, through influence, to actually have some traction and actually get some stuff done. We ran the second class of all ATX leadership yesterday, which brings together stakeholders in the industry, but also venture capital and folks on the private side who are music lovers but don't know how to invest in it. 40 of them at a time, and they're sitting in the room for the very first time. And so many things are going to come out of those programs. And why hasn't Austin had a leadership class around the music industry or a networking trade organization around the music industry in its history?
Yeah.
Right? We're in our second class. Why has that not been going on for 20 years?
No, they just made a slogan, and that was it.
That
was from our last podcast. They just music capital.
I say that's a double-edged sword, and I say this whenever I go talk to these cities, when I'm out and about. I'll always say this. Like, the marketing slogan is an absolute double-edged sword. For one thing, it positions you as a thing that you've got to live up to, and that's impossible, right? And being the live music capital of the world doesn't necessarily do a whole lot for the music business.
No.
Being the music business infrastructure capital of the world would be awesome, because then we'd be making real business happen there.
Aren't we getting some of that now? Aren't some of the labels and management and
BMI's moving. And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a very big deal. We got them moved, and that took 2 or 3 years.
Are you with BMI, Adam?
Yep, I'm a BMI songwriter.
Well, they're going to be in and amongst us networking, and that's going to be great. The other side of the coin that I was going to mention about the marketing slogan and what Austin's done is, while they have created some issues for themselves by calling themselves that, they've also, in some ways, really put their money where their mouth is. Because with AMF, Austin Music Foundation, Ham, Sims, Black Fret, all ATX, like, there is no other place, this might be hyperbole, but there are very few places in the world where you can go and enjoy that kind of support as a musician or a member of the music community. Name me one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are places where you can get some more work done, sure. And there are places that have a little bit more go-get-em culture, sure. But if you get sick, find me a place where you get free healthcare.
Yep.
And find me a place where you get addiction treatment. And find me a place where you get continuing education.
Exactly.
And
Okay, yeah.
patronage,
I didn't want to go there right now, but let's go there since you're there. the overall mental health of Texas musicians. I mean,
Well,
I know
most
that's
of the ones I
something
know
that
are
you don't.
nuts, so I don't know.
You just, yeah, you refer people. Point them in the right direction. When we have all these places, we have all these great organizations in place already.
Yeah. If you're in a place like Austin, that has, or Denton, that has, nonprofits that service that part of the health equation, then I send people directly there. If someone comes to the office and says, and this didn't happen that often. I mean, people tend to know this without me telling them, but I never miss an opportunity. If you're having issues like that and you're in a place like Austin, go sit with the people at Sims. And go sit with the people at the Hi, How Are You Today Foundation, immediately. And those things are sitting there waiting for you. And they've got their hands full, but they help a lot of people and they legitimately save lives. DMAC and Denton, they're getting there too. They're just starting their program, but I'm really proud that they've decided to make that their core mission is to help people.
You think they were inspired because they became one of the cities?
They were already starting that work. I think they got.
Does that kind of help the city get to that status, having something like that in place?
Yeah, that became their advisory council.
Okay.
They were starting to work on it. I think that has given them a lot of support. But they'd been already in contact with Renee Collins and the Ham group, so they were working on it already.
Is there any city that's you can tell us, sneak preview, that may be getting close?
Sure. I'm going to be visiting with El Paso coming up.
Oh, there you go, Adam.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think they're going to be great. I mean, they've been engaged too. There are several that are working through the process right now.
I love that venue there. Well, it's a restaurant that has bands. So let's put it that. Yeah, but the stage is in it's like in Mexico or something, and the restaurants in Texas.
I don't remember that.
So you can't drink or something. That's some weird law.
Oh, wow.
You haven't played there?
No, I haven't.
Okay. What place is that?
I don't remember what it is. It's a nice restaurant though.
Did you see this on a movie?
Yeah.
I love Sonic Ranch out there.
Yeah.
Oh, the studio.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
one of these cool bands I like did a record out there. The new Master Tones? Master
what?
Sound, sorry. Yeah, it's my favorite band.
Yeah,
Let me tell you
this band.
tell you the name of them.
Something.
The new Master Sounds. They're from England.
England.
Yeah, okay. So you've been out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Several times. It's a great part of the job that I get to spend a lot of time with people around the state who are interested in this kind of thing.
So I bet they're excited about that.
I think so. I've had people in these different towns that have gotten certified or are getting there that it's been exciting for them. It's kind of given them a little bit of hope that they can build they've wanted to do something like this to help out the artistic side of their city, but they just couldn't figure out how.
But Denton has they have a music school there, really good one. So that's should be a no-brainer.
Yeah, it should be, but it's not. When you're dealing every single day with the weeds, it's hard to pull your head up and go, oh man, if we built something a little bit more macro, how would it look and what would those programs actually look like? And that's what we do at Texas Music Office, is show up with this thing they can add on to efforts they're already doing.
You got to think
tie it together.
Lubbock's got to be in here somewhere.
I've really tried with Lubbock.
What's
and
going
I'll
on with
say
Lubbock,
this,
man?
I was going to say
where
that
all
was
these
going to be one of my
singer-songwriters come from.
questions.
I've really tried with those folks.
Adam, come on. What's up with Lubbock?
I don't understand that. I mean, because
Scott Ferris, when I first got this gig, I went out and Scott Ferris,
We were in the band together.
man, I really do like Scott, and he works really hard out at the studio, and he was kind enough to host a studio full of stakeholders right after I got the gig when I was just going around the state saying hello and introducing myself. And I wish I'd had this message more in hand then. That would have been a prime time. They came to me. I essentially said, I'm just starting out. I want you to know me, that kind of thing. And then I've been out again a couple times, and it's been harder to draw people together out there. I
still have
kind
the
of
Buddy
figured they'd
Holly
be first
Festival?
on the list, but
They still do the Buddy Holly Festival there?
it's changed names a couple times, but it's essentially the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's disappointing that
Well, I mean,
with the
it's-
amount of people that have come out of there and have had really good music careers, and then literally 30 minutes from there, you had one of the premier schools, South Plains College, Creative Arts, at the time.
Well, I just feel like people are busy, and we are not shutting the program down anytime soon. And we're only 7 in right now, and I think that Lubbock's going to get there. I mean, I can't imagine that eventually they won't. It's
I feel like Lubbock and Amarillo both will get there.
Yeah. And
Amarillo is really pushing now. I've been talking to, Craig Vaughn and Zach Wilkerson, has been really involved in that whole AJ Swope's amphitheater they're building, and for who doesn't know about AJ was a songwriter in the Texas thing, and he unfortunately was killed in a car accident because a lady decided to end her own life and just went into oncoming traffic, and hit him.
Oh my God.
And so Craig and them and a whole council in Amarillo have been putting together a outdoor venue in downtown Amarillo that's in honor of him and be an actual like city music venue that concerts in the park sort of thing, and it's going through, and it's great to see the hard work they're putting into Amarillo, in trying to cultivate that music scene, because there is a lot of songwriters, same thing as Lubbock, and I've been proud of them and I'm trying to help them as much as possible, with little bit I can do
In your free time.
Yeah, and all that free time I've got.
Brendon, remember that pawn shop we played in Amarillo?
Yes.
What was it called? The Natatorium?
The Nat Ballroom, because it used to be a natatorium.
The Nat Ballroom.
Well, we played the Golden Light once, if you recall.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, the first time we played it, Michael, you decided you had to be somewhere. And Pat decided that, we can do this with a fiddle and drums.
I
and
was doing a showcase in like L.A. or somewhere in New York.
Yeah, you were doing a pretty cool gig.
We're not going to talk about what exactly I was doing, but it was that.
You were doing a pretty cool gig.
Remember when they say you never know who's in the audience? It was an audience full of those people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, long story short, I think the first time we played in Amarillo I played with Pat. It was drums, Justin, me, and what did that sound like?
At the Golden Light. Wow.
I don't even
my
want to know.
But then, we used to play the Nat, which was like an antique store and a dance hall built above what used to be a swimming pool.
I just remember we got there. We got there late. We're off topic. We got there late one time, and the band that was opening for us set up all their gear on stage.
That was coup de grace.
Yeah, and then said, "Hey man,
Really?
hey man, is it cool if y'all just
Play our stuff?
We're like, "No, it's not. This is not cool."
Go ahead and take that off. I love those guys, man. They were some of the funniest dudes to run around.
You ever had one of those
That's
stories, Adam?
fantastic.
You show up late and the opener's set up.
Oh, just throw up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
on the
us
drum
throw up.
riser, everything in place.
What was their drummer's name? Do you remember? He wore a head mic, and we called him Head Mike and the Mechanics.
Oh man, I can't remember his name. Dang it.
I love those guys. Were awesome. In Matt Martindale,
He was playing drums
he's
and
a
answering
judge?
phones for
Judge or
Time Life
something, yeah.
magazine at the same time.
Yeah, so great. Anyway, off topic, but
Okay, so now we're back to
I do this all
Amarillo
day.
and Lubbock.
I'm
look,
really
I
shocked
think they're amazing towns. What I find, even in places that don't seem as apparent to me, I'll go 100%. I'll show up.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of stuff going on. It's really cool, and they're proud of it. They just haven't found a way yet to really intentionally support it or build it into a city program.
Yeah.
And we hope to give them the keys to do that. Like, towns like San Angelo are going to get there. They've got stuff going on there, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
So Lubbock and Amarillo can't not be a part of that group. I don't see how we could do it with long term
yeah,
without
exactly.
them.
Like just
Doesn't
forget
make
the
sense.
panhandle.
Right.
What panhandle? We don't
Exactly.
have that.
Okay, so what are you most looking forward to during the year from your office? Is it like ACL or South by or
Well, I love
is there
those
other
times.
festivals in Dallas, and what's going on in Houston?
Man, Houston is just a big machine. That is for sure. Well, I'm really excited about the
Houston's probably the most professional city, right?
It,
It's more of the national.
certainly-
It's more of a national thing than like a Texas thing. You would
It's
think with all the
the most-
rappers and stuff.
It's the most diverse city in the country. I mean, that is a fact. So you just get music coming out of there. You know, you can't put your finger on what it does because it does it all. I think there's an assumption that like it's hip hop capital of the world. They have amazing stuff going on in just so many different genres, though. You know, they've just had such success.
Like Roger Krager.
Oh yeah,
Well, it's kind of weird that
the Suffers. I mean, it's something new every time you kind of turn around out of that place. To answer your original question though. I'm very.
Yeah, what are you most looking forward to? Yeah.
I'm very excited about that April 26th gathering in Fort Worth of these music-friendly communities.
Okay.
It'll be the first time that's ever happened, and I'm glad to play a role in that. I'm glad to announce, at South by, this cat's way out of the bag, but I'm glad to announce the opening of that BMI office in Austin. I think that's a domino.
yeah,
Congratulations, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
for having now my
You can just drive in Austin.
instead of having to talk to them in Nashville.
Yeah, I'm excited for
but
those
it
things.
is. It is nice.
I just feel like those things are tangible, signs of our work, and they're culminations of several years of work at this point. So
You think once one gets here and then see how it goes, the other two will show up soon.
yeah, I think that's
ASCAP and
clustered.
CSAC are going to have to show up.
I just think it's cluster development. I mean, you've got to find one champion within each sort of cluster, and then
They're waiting
naturally they'll follow. Yeah, they're going to wait. They're going to see what happens.
because we've tried the labels here before.
Yeah, but we've tried them in ways that are not sustainable. And I think what BMI in particular is doing is a sustainable model with the right kind of partners plugged into a network that's ready-made for it. So they're not opening a big building with 30 staff that they're going to find jobs for when they get there.
Yeah,
They know what they're doing. They're empowering a couple people, and they're going to be a good partner for us like overnight. And that's, the other folks are going to watch that for sure.
So, hopefully we're going in the right direction, obviously, but Texas is also exporting a lot of music. I don't know what you guys have to do with that, but now we have, what's it like 10, 15 years with Steamboat now? How long has that been going on? Probably longer, 20 years?
well, Steamboat.
Steamboat's 30.
30
30 years?
34
But in its
years.
current
Aye, aye, aye.
iteration, we're like
It's
20 years in almost.
Yeah, I think 98 or 99 was the first year with
when he started doing like pairing it up with real music stuff.
So now we have
Yeah.
Mile O.
Mile Zero, yes.
Oh, is it Mile Zero?
Yeah.
Because
Mile-
Mile Zero.
Mile Zero.
Key
Mile
West.
Z.
Yeah.
Okay. So so we got
You're
that
waiting
going
for
on.
that one.
I like Milo.
Milo.
Yeah. Okay. You're really
Oh,
onto
and then
something.
Key West.
Then
which
there's-
is what I've been wanting to do for a long time because
don't we
you
go
know
to the
how I
beach?
love Steamboat.
I know how
Everyone
much-
freezing to death. I was like, why don't we do it where people are wearing less clothes?
Well, look, I'll say this. Okay.
That's genius.
The solid majority of the artists that play both the festivals you just mentioned are Texan, right?
Yeah, we're exporting now.
Yeah, we got Oklahoma mixed in, 100%.
Yep.
Great folks from there.
Does
but-
Larry Joe's thing in New Mexico count?
Well, sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
So does Walt's thing in New Mexico. But
Yeah,
my
and
point
Michael
is,
Hearn's got the barn dance. in
name me
Mexico.
another state.
Idaho.
Well, that's Braun Brothers, right? They're from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're bringing.
Well, what I'm asking is,
Yeah, okay.
like, name me another state that can put on a festival for 5,000 people for a week.
In another state.
99% of the artists come from that state.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
waiting.
And the fans.
And the fans. I'm waiting.
And we're doing Ireland and England now.
Yeah.
Little singer songwriter type things.
Yeah.
Where the music, well, the Texas country, red dirt, if you have to say it, but yeah, we're exporting that. I mean, I don't know, like you say, what other states are doing that?
Well, there aren't any, and that's the point. But look, we have to also, while that is really cool to point out, we have to also be very aware that we need partnership with industry centers like Nashville to ultimately be as successful as we can be. So we can't get so proud of ourselves here within the friendly confines of a regional touring world where we get so comfortable that we think we got it all figured out. And, I think there's a perception in places like Nashville that they're just going to do what they're going to do down there.
Well, a few have been doing the Americana Fest in Nashville.
A few have,
but they're not. But they're not packaging it as a Texas night, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they are.
Look, Texas Music Office does a full-on Texas showcase at Americana, and one at Newport, one at South by, and one at Montreal this week for a Folk Line. Like, we do a lot of those things that are only Texan at those things, but it's just to show off our state, right? It's not making a statement. It's just showing off our state and how cool, some of our musicians who are there are. So, I've found after, again, the last few years when I've been paying active attention to it, that there's much more acceptance, it seems, from this scene for an artist to go get help from an industry center like Nashville than there has been in the past.
Yeah.
Right? So Cody Johnson is not doing this without help, and Aaron Watson is not doing this without help. Neither are Randy or Wade or any of these other guys who are being very consistently successful over a long period of time.
Right? For all of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've got publishing deals. They've got label deals. When that happened in 2004 and 2005, forget about it. You have left the building.
Yep.
So I think we're getting smarter about the partnerships we make in industry centers that can do stuff for our people here. But I think the lanes just continually need to be widened. And that's why investment from companies based elsewhere in Texas, moving to Texas and expanding is so important, because you're starting to create better understanding about what's actually happening here and the opportunity here. And then our folks get a better understanding of what the opportunities are elsewhere, and there's not so much of a set of blinders on about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Nashville homer, and I'm not an Austin homer. I just think that there's common sense ways to partner with people who have resources to offer.
What's the saying? If you want to pick cotton, you got to go where the cotton grows.
Is that a saying?
Yeah, it is now. Also, Mile O is officially a lexicon in the lexicon now. Milo. Mile Zero I can't.
Well, Mile Zero is where the highway ends in Key West.
Yes.
I know.
The southernmost
You do?
part of
Okay, making sure.
the United States.
Is it 95?
I don't know.
Interstate 95?
I don't know.
It's the drug highway.
That seems to be a cool festival.
It was fun.
You went this time, right?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
went
go?
this time.
No.
You should take the podcast there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got to start. Adam. We need to work on our getting places.
Yeah. I'll add that to my list.
Well, 50% of you are there all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I'm there. I'm there at every festival.
He's not there by himself.
Yeah.
Well, true.
Yeah.
True.
I'm there with my boys.
All right. So, are you happy with where we're at right now with the growth?
Look, I'm happy that things are congealing around what I think are good ideas.
You can look back over the last couple of years and go, okay.
I'm very proud of the time I've spent at the office, and thanks for that question, because I don't want to miss an opportunity to say how proud I am of the work that TMO's done.
Pride's a sin.
Yeah, I think it's.
But you're happy with what's going on where we're at this point.
Yeah, I am.
Getting cities to literally form a new part of their government.
Right, around the commercial music industry. That's a big deal. And look, I'm not proud necessarily, Adam, of just like myself in that. I'm proud of like how the office has stepped up. Like, we've got guys there who've been there a long time, who are actively out and about in the community now, and like really taking the office out to hear what's going on, right?
Yeah.
I'm really proud of that. Like, I'm proud of the guys who work there. I'm proud of, the programs we built, because I think they're actually starting to do a lot of good for a lot more people. And so, yeah, I don't feel like the last 4 years, looking back, have been floundering around trying to figure stuff out. Like, I feel like we've figured some things out, we've gone and done them and started programs that are going to live on their own, right? With help from other people, and that's essential.
Okay, this is probably another question you've already heard before, but we have our own set of listeners. Mm-hmm. A few of them, right, Adam?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 6.
I don't recognize you with this short
I
hair
know.
thing. Okay. So where would you like to see improvement?
I would
Not where to go, but where do you think needs more improvement?
Yeah, I want more and more and more business happening in Texas. I mean, that as long as I'm here at the office, that will be something I never let up on. And it's really hard to get these companies committed to, expanding and making a change, but we'll never stop doing it. So more and more and more of that. I mean,
What's the
100%.
biggest Texas booking agency, would you think? Do you know?
The one based in Texas?
Is there a solely Texas one, or is there one like has an affiliate from a major?
There are affiliates all over the
Yeah.
place. Like High Road's got affiliates in Texas.
Is New
and-
West still here?
No, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I don't think they are anymore.
think
Okay.
they
I
are.
think New West has lost their representative in Austin. I think it happened a few years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
The
That's the label side.
Yeah.
like on the yeah, that's right. That's John Allen's label. The Red 11 guys are there. Of course, they're straddling between Nashville and
and
Austin,
here.
which is what
That's
you should
growth.
do,
Okay.
right?
That's good.
But given the amount of business that CAA and Paradigm and William Morris do with Texas artists, why aren't they sitting here centrally in Texas with boots on the ground? I know there's a good explanation I could get from them, but I haven't heard it yet. I don't know quite why that hadn't happened. And we'll keep having the conversation.
What's the biggest festivals?
The biggest festival? It's got to be ACL.
Yeah.
It's
The whole statewide?
Yeah, I think it's one of the bigger ones because it's 2 weekends now and it's 75,000 people at pop. And then
Does Houston have anything?
Houston's lost a couple in the last
Because
couple
they
years.
had the
They're kinda odd.
International Music Festival for a while.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
That was all
And they had
types,
free
but-
press, and that's changed.
Yeah.
Is there a jazz scene in the state?
Yeah,
Houston?
yeah. There's a cool jazz festival south of Houston that's one of the bigger ones. There's an EDM scene that's getting bigger and
Hey,
bigger.
yeah, that's Adams, right up his style right there.
What, EDM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look at a group like Scoremore based out of Austin. I mean, they're doing Neon Desert in El Paso, and they're doing all the jambalaya things that are just massive.
What's
And-
Missio?
What's Missio?
Are they EDM?
No.
Electronica?
I'd say they straddle the line. I mean,
yeah, but I wouldn't call them EDM at all.
but they're
No.
represented by 888, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think so.
That's it in town?
Yeah, it's an in-town group. That's George Corey and Bruce Kalmick,
Yeah.
right? I could be totally wrong there.
Yeah.
It rings a bell.
So the biggest festivals, hands down, statewide, is the ACL Fest.
Yeah, I mean,
Just simply because it's 2 weekends now?
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong, but I think so.
Yeah. I mean,
And of course,
I
South
think it's the
by
biggest-
is huge.
I think it's the biggest annual festival. Yeah, but I put South by in another category
Yeah.
because it's so multidisciplined now, and it's 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and so it's like more of just a big conference with a music component now.
I think
Yeah.
it's hilarious because you got all the educators that come for their part, and they have to come down there and see what's going on.
But they've got it siloed up, so they'll come for a couple days. Film comes, interactive comes, music. I mean, it's sports now. I mean, it's multidisciplined.
Yeah.
They've got to break it up a little bit.
I hope we have enough scooters for that this year.
Oh, well, here's a wrench in that whole deal too. Is this the first time in a long time that it's spring break?
Yeah.
So
You get that, Adam? Explain it to him.
Yeah, well-
this is ridiculous.
you're just gonna have more. It's usually scheduled when spring break happens at UT.
yeah.
But not this time. So
Oh, really?
school's in. Wow. So you got all those college students
Skipping class for a week.
15 streets up from where there's things going on, and then you've got hundreds of thousands of people pouring in and out of the city in addition.
Wow.
It's just going to be
Yeah, all your favorite bands are in town, and you're in a chemistry lab class with
Yeah.
some guy who didn't do his part of the lab.
Of the lab. I'm glad I'm flying in for one day. I'm stage managing a stage at Luck Reunion.
Oh, yeah, for Thursday.
Is that downtown?
And so, no, it's out at Pedernales Falls.
Oh, okay,
It's
so
out
you're
in
lucky.
Luck. So, yeah, I'm literally flying in from Chicago, and then I'm meeting the band back up somewhere in Oklahoma. And that's it.
His band's coming. What's their name again?
Mike and the Moon Pies?
Yeah, Eminem.
Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
They're formerly known as the band.
The band.
Well, I tell you what, that's cool. You're working that deal. Lux turned into one of my favorite things to do.
It's such a fun thing to do.
You'll be at that.
I'll be at that. That's
yeah.
my break from South by because I will have already been in South by for like over a week.
I'll check my Facebook invite.
Yeah. Wait, you don't have Facebook?
No, I don't.
No.
You can come.
I don't
I'll have a cold beer ready for you.
They're gonna let me
Michael, if
in?
You show up. Yeah.
You know how I get in places now? I just
Yeah.
say Google me.
Google me, and they're like,
And you don't get punched in the face if you do that.
No,
Ever?
Google me.
I'll Google you, dude. Yeah.
yeah.
Adam, are you getting new glasses?
I'm gonna get new glasses soon. I've had these for like a decade.
That's where we're at now. We're getting going to the eye doctors, and
We're men of a particular age.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, well, all this seems positive so far. Is there anything negative? You're going like, man, we thought this was going to go great, but it's gone back a few steps. Or we really were hoping for this, but it hasn't worked out yet as we thought it would.
Well, I just think there are issues out there that are really difficult to solve, right? So your cities,
Like why musicians still make $100 in the studio per song for 20 years now.
well,
We need
yeah,
to
there
solve
hasn't been
that,
a lot
man.
of there hasn't been a lot of wage adjustment that's happened. I'll give you that. But I do see things happening on the legislative side that are positive. I see things in rate courts that are positive, that bode well for the future of streaming and its relationship to independence.
Yes.
Those laws have been exciting now.
They've been exciting to watch. I mean, it's going to take a few years to implement all this stuff, but I'm seeing positive things on the horizon. Now, there's a lot of complication to those. And really, if you're not paying attention to it and you're an independent musician or an independent manager, man, you've got to get on the ball and start paying attention to this stuff.
What's really funny too is that, and this goes back to I think the us in Texas and stuff. Like now that I've been in Nashville more and out in LA and stuff, there's a lot of band people that have been on labels for a long time that are like side projects and stuff that are now like I'm getting calls from friends and people that are like, hey, you guys are doing stuff on your own. How do I do this on my own? And it's just pointing them towards the resources of, okay, like, we've hired a publicist and do all this sort of stuff, and putting out, but they're just like, we never, like, I've been on a label for 30 years. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you're institutionalized.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I could do this on my own. Like, and
That's
it's amazing.
very unique in this state.
You can,
I don't even think it's just this state. I just think
No, it
that
is-
we're
that-
the ones
that's everywhere.
that figured it out and have been doing it for a long time, but like they've gotten institutionalized. They've been told that they can't do it on their own for so long, and then they're finally looking and seeing like, okay, the Cody Johnsons and the Aaron Watsons and stuff like that are doing major national stuff.
Yep.
And they're like, wait a minute, they're not really with anybody. They're just doing it, and they are. There's people in the background doing stuff, but yeah. And it's funny to finally see these people that are just like opening their eyes and realizing, oh, you guys kind of figured something out. And
I think there's a lot of other stuff going on there in that equation.
well,
that makes those guys be able to do what they're doing.
that's true.
there is, and there's a whole bunch of people involved, but because they started off realizing that they didn't need the big thing yet, at least.
Well, if you go through a whole bunch of meetings where you're not hearing the right answers and you still have all that desire to go and be that performer, then you're just going to keep going at it. So that's sort of the ethos we have here. Like I don't see a bunch of Texan artists if they get the wrong answer from a label stopping because
stopping
of that
music
meeting.
altogether.
I mean, they're going to keep on keeping on and writing.
You
and
always
playing
pivot. You just pivot when something happens. Like, okay, now I got
but
to go to this
but
next.
if the right meeting happens, why not? Right.
Yep.
But I don't see our people don't really stop. Like if you're gonna go into a business where you're completely radio dependent, then you have to have the right. You've got to have that right set of relationships. But that's not what we're talking about here. But I will say something to your earlier question about what's going wrong.
Which is what you would hope. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a whole bunch going wrong necessarily. I do see growth continuing to happen in the state where I work.
Yeah.
Texas. Like I don't see any cities that are, really receding into the background. They're all growing. It's getting more and more expensive to live in most places.
Yes.
And so if these places like Austin or El Paso or Fort Worth don't start taking stock of what they have and start figuring out how to actively support it, they're going to pick their heads up in a few years and look around, and it's going to change. And how much change can a city endure before they're just like everywhere else?
It's how many people I talked to now within the past 2 years have moved to Buda and Kyle and San Marcos and Round Rock and Georgetown, just because they can't afford to live here.
Condos are expensive.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't think there's
It's the same thing. It's the same thing in Nashville. It's the same thing.
the same thing everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like an old man by saying if music's all you do, okay, your path in life is just gonna be it's going to be hard.
Yes.
And you're going to have to work harder than folks with a ready-built career ladder in front of them. It is the truth.
Definitely.
We've
definitely not how it was like even 10 years ago.
Yeah, and maybe it's getting harder, but on one level, this business rewards today people who are free thinkers and self-starters
Yes.
more than it ever has.
Yeah.
Because at least you can plow your own row. You know, you don't have a whole bunch of people standing firmly in front of you telling you to stop if you don't use their services, right?
Yep.
So, you know, we can reward those folks, but, you know, those are the people who are going to make it and get to live in the condo or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, look, with all due respect, and again, I don't want to be the angry old guy, but if you spend part of your time, if any of your time, on Facebook as a musician complaining about how the city doesn't give you stuff, you're wrong.
Yes.
I'm sorry. There's nothing a city's going to hand you that's going to make your job choice easier.
Yeah.
Right? Its role ought to be to give you more opportunity to take advantage of, right? And to get the knucklehead stuff out of your way. Other than that, it's all on you.
Adam?
And you've chosen that career.
Yes.
And
Adam, you were saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, you and I were talking about before we started recording this podcast of just how, you know, some people get into this whole, you know, it's like booking a band and you're in a band and it's like you can't, you know, the band members complain that we're not booked enough, we're not touring enough.
Eternal question.
You know, and
hey,
it's
man,
like,
I've been there.
Yeah.
and it's like, well, if you believe in the band and stuff, figure out another way to help supplement that until your band is booked enough, you know, and you just can't. But these band members, the young ones, just will bounce from band to band.
I had teachers at South Plains College in probably 93, 94 telling me you can't just be a bass player in the music industry. That was then. You have to do other things.
I mean, I've been in the music industry my entire life, but I've not had one job.
Right.
I'm
when
still
did-
doing
when did-
5-10 jobs.
When did any of us get sat down across from a mentor or advisor and they're like, you're cool. You just do this one thing.
No.
You're going to make it.
Yeah.
No one's
You're gonna be
ever
great.
told anybody that.
No.
No, you have to have a lot of irons in the fire. You can't just.
This
I
is
mean,
a
look, we have
hu- yeah,
Pauline
it's a
Reese
hustle,
Pauline Reese is selling real estate as an Airbnb.
Sure. And
We
that
have,
doesn't mean you're not a full-time
No, exactly.
player.
Bart Crow is now a Bug's Life.
Yeah, he's got multiple businesses,
Yeah.
and he's doing it, and it allows him to make more records.
Yeah, and look, if you get lucky, if you get really lucky and you get to do one thing, you know,
I'm in
Let
trouble.
me know how that goes.
I'm in trouble.
but what I'm saying is I think you'll be surprised at how untrue that is.
Yeah. The only thing I have to fall back on is my bed right now.
Well, the other funny thing about that is
I'll show myself out.
it
was terrible.
That's going to be that would be a lot of laugh. tracks
First time
will be going
caller,
on.
I'll hang up and listen online.
But how many people that like I talked to that I grew up with or stuff, like how many of them have even a job they went to college for? Because they got that job and then they got canned, you know, and now they have a job somewhere else. It's not like some of us are fortunate enough that we at least still have a job in the music industry.
This just makes me laugh. I think you and I, Michael, had a conversation about this once. Like, we'd been in this band that he and I were in, right? The Pad Band for like a decade,
At least.
at least at this point.
It
when we
seemed a
had
lot
this
longer,
conversation.
though.
Yeah.
I think I was there overall, and I still play the occasional gig, like 15 years from, you know, start to finish, essentially, right?
Yeah.
I think I've quit Pat more times than bands I've been in. Total numbers of band I've been in.
Probably, but he and I had a conversation about how long we'd been in one job, you know, and it was really interesting. We're like, holy crap, man! Like, we've been in the same job in the music business for this long, and you know, some people choose not to do that. That's okay. I like the stability of long-term employment, but I was laughing with some college guys after T-Bay and I had this conversation that I had friends who went to school for architecture and for business management and all these things, and they'd had 4 jobs in the time. You know, been fired, moved, downsized, changed careers, and I'm still doing the same thing in the music business, and I haven't left it yet.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I'm in it, you know, but I'm not on stage. Does that mean I'm any less a part of the industry. I have a weird job in it.
Shoot, no, you're more involved in the industry.
No, we need
now,
spies
'cause you're
like
not-
you on the inside,
Yeah.
working for the man.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think it's an interesting phenomenon. Like when people get resentful about not getting to just play singer-songwriter gigs for a living, I'm like, well, man,
Did you ever think you'd have to shop for ties after age 30?
no, honestly, not really.
What a question.
Yeah, when you're buying like boots and cool jackets, and like
Someday these will all be ties.
Yeah.
you open up your closet and you're like, what has happened?
Oh, I ask myself that all the
G-man.
time.
He's a G-man.
It's not just the closet.
Hey, did you bring us some pins, some TMO pins?
I may have some.
Yes,
I will-
Adam.
I'll take a
we got
look.
some swag.
If not,
Yeah.
I'll send some.
All right. So, speaking of mini me's, you have a mini me now.
I do.
You know, every time this
Playing
is all right.
fiddle.
Playing,
All right.
yeah, 3 years old playing fiddle.
Okay. All right. I don't know where I'm going with this, Adam.
I know.
Follow along.
I'm on board. Just
Get
take us
ready
there.
get ready on the space bar, Adam.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Okay. So, I don't know what her name is. I think her name is Buddy.
Little buddy.
Yeah, because every time I see a post on Instagram, it's Buddy. I was like, did he name his daughter Buddy?
I didn't.
Adam, did he name her that?
I don't know if I should tell this story.
Okay.
So her name is Anderson Rose.
Oh, I love that name.
Thank you.
I like it better than Buddy.
It is better than Buddy.
Okay. Did he name it
Do you know where that? Do you remember where that name came
Yeah.
from? Yeah. So we named her Anderson before she was born as a working title, right? So you don't know what your kid's name is till you see them.
Yeah.
Usually, you're like, well, and
That's why I haven't named any yet. I don't even know how old they
far
are.
as you know. But you have to have a working title because you're like, building a crib. You're like, well, this kid's crib. You can't just call it the kid. You're like,
Yeah.
So you have a working title. So a long time ago, Pat forgot my name on stage. Do you remember that?
The one time he did?
Well, a long time ago. I'm giving him
Yeah.
all the grace in the world here.
Yeah.
We had a big band, and I'd only been there 12 years, so it was
tough.
I get it. But he called me Brendon Anderson on stage. Of course, everybody else heard it too,
Anderson.
and so everyone started calling me Mr. Anderson, like from The Matrix or whatever, which is annoying as all annoying.
Yeah.
But so we started calling this unborn kiddo Anderson because it was funny, and we just fell in love with the name. So
Nice.
What's her nickname
awesome.
then?
I just call her Anderson.
Andy?
Or hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey,
Buddy. It's Buddy.
It is buddy. Hey, buddy.
Okay.
I can't believe I told that story. You have to erase that.
No, that's awesome.
What? So here's a good parenting question. We're done, by the way. Thanks for coming. It's been very informative.
That's been great.
Well, I'm sorry for the rants. I just
No,
I
this
feel
is
like
we need
it's-
the rent because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. I'm not on Facebook. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Where are you going, Adam?
you just wait.
Did you do something?
No, you just wait.
You just got something off the shelf.
Oh no.
You just wait.
So, where was I? So, what happens? How are you going to be as a father when your daughter comes up to you about 13, 14 and goes, Dad, I don't want to play violin. I want to play bass.
I saw T-Bay play in an old video, and I want to play bass.
What happens when she goes, I want to play bass?
I thought we'd agreed that you'd play an instrument.
Ooh.
Ding.
Bass is the intelligent.
I will be happy if she finds something that she can concentrate on and like form some discipline around. I mean, I'm not equivocating.
Like being a doctor.
Sure, but I think even a doctor,
Ooh, Dr.
needs to have-
Anderson.
Dr. Anderson.
But I think even people who go to med school should have something else that they
Okay.
use as a way to develop some discipline, right? So that's what violin was to me. I just went and terrified my parents by doing it for a living.
Yeah,
for
but
a
she's
long time.
playing now.
Man, she makes, and you know how hard this is. Like she makes whole notes happen with a bow without muffling them or squeaking them. I mean, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like you hand an average adult a violin, like make a noise, and it's terrible.
You hand a violin player a violin in the studio and say, don't squeak.
It's my favorite joke of all
Happens
time.
every time.
My favorite joke. How you know when the fiddle's out of tune?
It's playing. Bow's moving.
Bow's moving, yeah. Bye-bye. So that's what is that?
The Colonel, a friend of ours, musician, dropped this off one day in the studio.
God bless
So
him.
That's a
Thanks,
weird
Colonel.
looking toy.
It's terrifying.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, that's me after listening to some of these new records that have been coming out. We're gonna make a bad truth T-shirt that says "Hype No One."
Nice. I like that.
You down for that one? I'll come by the office, drop some off.
Sure.
That's small and a pin.
All right.
I'll hang it up.
All right. So let me know when she needs some bass lessons.
Sure.
We'll get her a gig right away.
Just tell her to turn the violin upside down.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. So how's her Spanish right now?
Non-existent, unfortunately.
You're not doing the
We haven't
bottle-
started. So she started with with a nanny for a while, doing that, and I don't know why we've stopped. We have to start that again.
Yeah.
She's got to get the Spanish
She
going.
has to
Come
do
on.
it.
I mean, I'm learning Italian, which makes no sense.
Yeah, if you want to go to Italy, it does.
I know.
He's going to start playing bass in Italy. That's what we've been talking. Italian music scene.
Oh yeah, I've been listening to '60s Italian. We've been done for a long time now, Adam.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I've listened to '60s Italian music, and it's incredible.
It is incredible.
It's
Oh, it's
incredible.
insane. It's
They have
amazing.
talk. They have voice where they like talk during the song.
Like Conway Twitty?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, it's so funny. You say,
But it's,
"Come
it's
on."
not
yeah.
the one singing. The one singing is the singer, and then some other voice comes in and starts going
Like a hype man or something. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's the
tu cambi,
60s.
tu cambi mai. You never change.
Are we doing this?
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. Hey, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Dude, loved it.
This is the virtual handshake.
Virtual handshake.
Adam's in
Good
the
to see
booth
you.
as always,
Win.
and we'll
Looking
see you
good.
for TMO 3.0.
Hey, man.
Next
I'll be
time.
here anytime you call.
Okay.
Let that be a lesson to all of you who haven't come and done this yet. It's not that far.
We actually can.
It's-
How do we have to get? Hold on. I have like too many languages in my mouth right now.
Yeah.
So do you have to make an appointment to come see you over there?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No,
Is there
you-
a security background check?
not a background check. There is security there. It's not for me.
Is there a wand? Is there a
We're just-
wand?
There's no wanding.
Pat
no,
down.
No. No. We're
I'll
in a
patch it
building
in.
with a lot of important people. It's not. They don't care if
Yeah.
you guys sneak up to see me. It's just. Yeah.
We should do it, Adam.
Yeah.
I'm
We
telling
should
you. That's
start
why I was
doing
like,
the
well, maybe you
podcast
come to the
out
office.
of his office.
All right, well, let's end this. Let's take some pictures and post it, and then
Yeah.
season 4, we're into it now.
Yeah, we're into season 4.
Oh
Oof.
man.
All right. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
fellas.
Later.